Welcome to the Eversio Experience podcast. I'm Brandy Garden, the co-founder of Eversio Wellness, and I'm here with my co-host, Desiree Caruso, who has a background in naturopathic medicine.
We're here to talk all about the world of mushroom wellness because mushrooms are critical to the maintenance of our physical well-being and our collective mental health.
We believe mushrooms are symbols of interconnectedness, and we're so excited to connect you with the health, wellness, and wisdom that they have brought us on our journey to this moment.
Our ancestors had deep cultural connections to mushrooms, but today they remain understudied, undervalued, and often misunderstood by much of modern society.
So we are here to change that. Eversio means change, and it's our mission to change lives through fungi.
There is a mushroom for every moment.
And we're so glad you're here to share this moment with us.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Eversio Experience podcast. Today, we're diving deep into the world of human design with an incredible guest that we are so excited to have on the show, Mindy Crawford. Mindy is a former digital marketing director turned high proximity human design coach, and she's all about helping others step into alignment, trusting their decisions, and activating their unique strengths. As a 4-1 sacral generator and a boy mom, she knows firsthand the power of moving from force to flow. Less pushing and more following the path that truly fits. Her work isn't just about information, it's a roadmap to real transformation. Through personalized coaching, Mindy helps people break through resistance, gain clarity, and unlock their magnetic potential. As she says, alignment isn't something you chase, it's something you choose. So if you've ever felt stuck, misaligned, or like something just isn't clicking, this episode is for you. Get ready to explore what's possible when you truly align with your energy. Let's dive in. I'm so excited. Mindy, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. That was just perfection. I have nothing more to add.
Oh, no, you do. That's what we thought when we dove in. That's what we thought. Mindy, first of all, thank you. I can speak for all of us on Team Eversio when I say how grateful we are that you brought human design into our lives. And we were just chatting before we started recording that none of us at Eversio Wellness knew about human design before we met you. And we're just so grateful you gave us that gift. I now think of my human design as my instruction manual for how to move through the world. And I just found it so incredibly empowering to learn who I came here to be by diving into my blueprint and just really understanding that we are all different. We're not supposed to be doing life the same way as everybody else. And I think so many of us were raised that way. So much joy and fulfillment have come from what we have learned from you. And I just want to scream from the mountaintops for everyone to learn about who they came here to be and to do it from you. So as someone with Gift 56, storytelling at the top of my human design chart, I love storytelling. And Mindy, we want to hear it from you. Please share with us your story. Who is Mindy Crawford? What the heck is human design? For those in our audience who might be wondering what we're even talking about. And how did you transform from digital marketing director to human design coach? Tell us the story. Start at the beginning.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again. Honestly, it's been such a pleasure working with your entire team. I've loved being able to bring human design in. Okay. From my standpoint, where did I begin? So as you mentioned, I was a digital marketing director. I worked with Jillian Harris for 7 remarkable years. And then I was pregnant. I went on maternity leave. And that was really the pivotal moment for me of being at home. Obviously, as a new mom, you've got a completely new job title on your hands and your world really shifts. But it was in that time of stillness where I wasn't in back-to-back calls or meetings that I finally was able to sink into myself. And it was at that time that I realized I have no idea what I like to do. I have no idea how I like to spend my days. What do I even do when I'm not working a 9 to 5? What does that look like? And so I really had to go on this path of rediscovery in a sense. And of course, as I was on maternity leave, the months start going by. And at first, it seems like you have a really long period of time to figure everything out. But those months fly by.
Yep.
And so as I was approaching the end of my maternity leave, I started really kind of panicking in a sense because I did not have daycare for my little guy. I put him on daycare list when I was 6 months pregnant, and I still hadn't heard from anyone. So
Ugh, the stress of parenthood that falls on the moms so often. I feel you, sister.
yes, it is real. It is so real. And so I was really trying to figure out, okay, how do I piece this together? How do I take this new life of mine and merge it with my previous one that I held before having my son? And I was trying to really force what the outcome was going to be because I was really lingering in the shoulds of stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, I should go back to work, you know, and there was a layer of comfort there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is scary when you try to figure out something new to do, when your life has changed so much in an instant. And so I was trying to come up with all of these solutions, and it seemed as though everything that I was trying to propose, it wasn't really working out. And so I remember at one point I was desperately trying to think of, okay, what is my next plan? And then I started to kind of release it. I just thought if I let it go, you know, something's going to just figure itself out. It always does. And so one day I was sitting at home and I got this unexpected phone call. It was actually from Amy, who owns High End Hippie Wellness. And so she called me because she just launched some new products. And so she was talking to me about the products. We were talking about motherhood. And then all of a sudden she brought up human design. And it was such a wild experience for me because as soon as the words human design left her mouth, I felt this hit in my stomach. And it was like all of a sudden my insides were like, that's it. And I knew.
Yep.
And I knew in that moment I needed to look into it. I had heard about human design before, but I never really dove into what it looked like, what it meant for me. And so all of a sudden, I started learning about my chart, and I started learning that my authority, so this is how I make the most aligned decisions, is trust my gut. And that means that I'm going to get a hit in my gut to know whether something's right for me or not. This is also how I call in aligned opportunities, is my gut is going to respond. And so just by having that phone call and by her saying human design, that was me responding to it, and my gut spoke to me in the moment. So that kind of hit me like a ton of bricks because I was thinking, okay, there's something here. And so when I was faced with the opportunity, okay, to go back to work in kind of a different structure or completely change and lean into something new, my gut was screaming at me from the inside of, try something new. It's time to like open up a new chapter. But my head was trying to convince me otherwise. And I think that that's what we start to get caught up in, is leaning into the shoulds and the expectations. And so I sat with that for a bit because it made me uncomfortable. The idea of releasing what I was used to and moving into something that I had no idea what it was going to look like. But I said to myself in that moment, if I really want to lean into this human design thing, I have to trust my gut. And so then that's when I made the decision to close a chapter of my digital marketing director phase and lean into this human design journey. And that's what led me here and what ultimately led me to Eversio as well.
That's it. That's it. And what you just described happened for you. Okay, so you're a generator. Desiree and I are both generators. We have been through that same moment, that same moment where you just like, oh my gosh, I've had that feeling my whole life, but I didn't know what it was and I didn't know how to listen to it and I didn't know what it meant. And when you realize it's a gift, it is the tool that you're going to use for the rest of your life to help you have this joy and fulfillment that is your birthright.
Yes.
Wow. I'm like, how did we ever get here without it? And I mean, it's cool. You've got 3 generators here talking to you, but don't worry. Mindy knows about all of the energy types in human design, not just the generators. Thank you for sharing that brave part of your journey. And change is hard. Eversio means change. And we named the company that for more than one reason. It's our mission to change lives through fungi, of course. But we also knew for us, we also were dipping our toe into the river of change, we call it. It's scary. It is scary, especially for someone with children who we have this desire to provide and be responsible and set the example and do what's safe. And there's a lot of people out there being safe and miserable. And, I was a teacher. I wasn't miserable, but I also knew. I knew every day driving, I was feeling that gut feeling and not knowing that it was the universe knocking on my door saying, this is not the path for you. There's other things waiting. So thank you for experiencing it for yourself so that, I know you've shared it with so many people now. We're so grateful to be some of them, but I love that when it starts with an authentic story like that, the journey, get ready, listeners, get ready for this ride.
Yeah.
Get ready for this ride.
Totally. It's so interesting too, right? Because we know we have this intuition. We've all heard, trust your gut, but it's actually hard to do it, right? Change is so hard to trust that because you're stepping into the unknown and you're really taking a chance on yourself. So it's really amazing to hear that you did that, and especially through some really big transformative changes through motherhood.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. And human design too, for those who may not know what it is or what we're really talking about, I'll give you kind of a brief overview of what it is and layer in why I love it so much too, which aligns exactly with this. So human design, it's a self-discovery and self-awareness tool, and it's based off of your birth date, your birth time, and your birthplace. And it's a mix of 4 different systems. So it combines astrology, the I Ching, Kabbalah, and the chakra system. So there's so many layers. If you were to look at your human design chart from a bird's eye view, it looks super complex and really convoluted, and there's so many layers to it. But the beautiful thing that it teaches you is just how to be you and what it means to live a life that is aligned, because throughout our lives, based off of experiences, based off of expectations, we really start to get caught up in the conditioning, and we get caught up in the shoulds, and we try to almost fit ourselves into certain boxes because we see other people doing things and we think that we need to match that in order to be successful. And then all of a sudden we think, and we tune out our inner compass, that inner knowing that keeps speaking to us. And then all of a sudden we wonder, why am I feeling frustration, bitterness, anger? Why do I feel so deeply misaligned? And it's because we're not tuned into ourselves. And so human design can give you a wealth of information. But the best part about it is it will never teach you something that you don't already know about yourself. It almost acts as that permission slip as to, okay, this is why I'm getting these massive gut feelings. And this is why I need to lean in, because the moment I'm able to lean into this version of my highest self, so to speak, all of a sudden the puzzle pieces start connecting and things start flowing really well. And it's almost like you're able to take the path of least resistance. Now
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah, these roadblocks and speed bumps, and yeah, just having that awareness. And human design, it's not the end all be all, but it can really be a tool that you hold in your back pocket to pull out when you need it. It can act as that little guidebook to help you along your journey and help support you in that. So
Yeah.
I
think
totally agree.
the word that came up for everyone on our team after working with you was validating or validation. Yep. Like, I just feel so validated, so seen. So many of us haven't changed a lot of what we were doing. It's just that we have this new energy into what we're doing and how we're doing it, knowing that there's a reason we want to do it that way. There's a reason that we want to do it differently than others. And we'd been comparing without even knowing it. Like, why aren't they doing it my way? What's wrong with them? We should all be doing it the same because this works so great. No, it works great for me because this is my design. And then being able to now look across the table as a team and see the others doing it differently and understanding why they're doing it differently and cheering them on and having them cheer us. I mean, I just think it is so validating to be able to have that path of least resistance be seen by others around you as the way you're supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
It's almost too like you have so many aha moments and you just feel this sense of ease and peace, like this makes sense. And that's it. And then you feel lit up by it because you are being described. I remember in our reading, Mindy, I was like, oh yeah. And I think everyone on the team had the same experience. Like, yep. Well, how did you get inside my brain? How do you know this? It was crazy. And okay, so Brandy and I are 4-6 generators for those of you who are listening, which is no surprise. Brandy and I sharing the same energy type. And as a 4-6 generator, community, connection, and relationships, those pieces are so important to us. And I think it would be really cool to tell the story really of how we connected with each other. So tell those who are listening how you met us and about being aligned with the people that you coach, because we feel it. We feel very aligned with you.
Yes. Yeah. So I actually met you through Easton, who I worked with Jillian Harris. And so Easton kept talking about Eversio and I kept seeing it, and something in me was like, I need to try this. What is going on here? Easton creates the most beautiful recipes and she integrates your mushrooms, which I think is just the coolest thing. And so I ended up purchasing some, and then we actually connected via Instagram. And I remember we had a meeting and we met for the first time. You know, I kind of shared what I did. You shared about your company. And I just felt this instant connection where I was like, okay, I feel like this is like, I'm also a line 4. So community is very important, but also with line 4s. And I can touch on what I'm even talking about when it comes to lines as well.
Yeah, do it. Tell the people.
Yeah. Okay, it's so lines in human design. This is also called your profile. So this is basically your personality. It also lends insight into your purpose in human design. And you can figure out all of this information, your energy type, your profile, and everything else within your chart. On my website, mindycrawford.ca, you can pull a free human design chart. It will give you all of this information. So if you're curious,
go do it. Press
awesome.
pause.
It's awesome.
Listeners, press pause. Go do it, because the rest of this episode will make so much more sense to you when you have that little bit of information. It's free. You have to know a bit of information about yourself, when you were born, all these things. But go and do it, and then come back and listen and get ready for her to blow your mind. Okay, yes. Carry on. Carry on 4.
Okay, and so the profile lines, they lend insight to your personality, into your purpose. There's 6 lines total. It can be a combination of any 2 of those numbers. And so I'm a 4-1. So with all of us having the 4s in our profile, it's all about community. It's all about collaboration. With a line 4, you are meant to work with and to collaborate with people who you feel like you want to be friends with. They feel like expanders. And really, that's what I felt meeting you. And that's why the alignment felt so right. I'm also a generator too. So it makes sense that all of us were just lit up by each other when we're just, following the things that excite us. So if you're looking at your profile, each of the numbers are going to mean something different. So I'll quickly go over just a high level insight of what they all mean. So for those that have a 1 in your profile, it doesn't matter if it's first or second. The line 1 is all about diving into a topic or topics that really excite you. You're meant to be an authority on those topics. You're meant to share the topics with the world. What can sometimes hang up a line 1 is the feeling of getting caught in perfectionism. So you have these feelings of, I don't know enough to share, so I'm not going to say anything at all. Really, that's you kind of hanging out in the shadow, and you really have to kind of flip the script here and know that if you have any sort of questions bubbling up about the topic that you're leaning into, that's just a sign that there's more to learn. It's not telling you that you're not meant to share. It's just a matter of you diving into that topic further. But chances are you, A, know more than what you're giving yourself credit for, and B, other people aren't going to know the same amount on this topic that you know. So allow yourself to lean in and share those things, because it's going to light you up.
That's you, Mindy, being the expert on human design. So thank goodness you listened as a 1 and this was your thing. And thank goodness you're sharing it. So what a beautiful combo that you just described, the 4-1, the community, and sharing the expertise you have with that community.
And what's interesting too about the profile is so my profile is a 4-1. The first number in your profile is something that's you're going to be more conscious of it. It's something that you're more aware of. So for me, from the community perspective and collaborations, I was more aware of that in myself, where I love being a part of a group. It doesn't have to be this massive group, but a tiny little group, quality over quantity makes so much sense for me. The line 1, so the second number in your profile, might be a little bit more unconscious. So you may not pick it up in yourself right away, but it's typically what others see in you. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're looking at your profile numbers. The line 2 is all about you just have natural talents. Oftentimes, the things that you're so talented at, they come so natural to you that you will overlook them. So what you want to pay attention to is what people are calling out in you. If people are asking you, how do you do this? Or can you share this with me? Oftentimes you might think, well, doesn't everyone know how to do this? This is so simple. Keep that almost in your back pocket as a clue, because you might want to really lean into that and really dive in and refine those things, because you are just naturally gifted at this stuff. Line 3 is all about diving into experiences. It's all about, jumping in with 2 feet, learning through your adventures. Every single experience that you go through as a line 3 is teaching you something. The good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. You're meant to take those experiences. They're teaching you something along the way, and they're also going to teach others. So here, it's not about listening to the advice of other people. Typically, those with a line 3 want to try it out for themselves and come to their own conclusions. A line 4, which we all have a 4 in our profile here, like I said, it's all about community. It's all about collaboration. It's really about bringing people together. And like I said earlier, it's about quality over quantity. You want to surround yourself with people that feel really aligned, where the energy just matches. And so
we're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
So awesome. And what's really cool about a line 4 is typically your opportunities in life will come through the people that you know. So really lean into that community of yours. Surround yourself with those people that just energize you and fuel you. Those with a line 5 in their profile are natural problem solvers. They just have this ability to come up with really unique, out-of-the-box solutions to things. But what they want to do, if you have a line 5 in your profile, you really want to protect your energy and set strong boundaries, because people will see you as this trusted source. You may find that as you go through your day-to-day, people come up to you from anywhere. You may not even know them, and they all of a sudden will just sit in front of you and spill their life story. And all of a sudden they're like, I don't know why I shared that. I don't typically share that with people, but it's this line 5 energy that's almost acting as that magnet, and it's bringing people in. So what you want to be cautious of is not taking the weight of the world on your shoulders and not feeling the responsibility to fix every single problem that comes across your path, because that will be that's like the fast track to burnout for you. So you really want to invest your energy and your attention into problems that you're really excited to solve. Your magic as a line 5 is to swoop into a situation, offer your beautiful insights, your beautiful problem-solving skills, and then remove yourself. So you're not meant to get caught up in the hand-holding of doing it for the person. And then a line 6 has lived all of the lines. A line 6 is the role model. So a line 6 actually, throughout life, the line 6 will unfold in 3 phases. The first 30 years of a line 6's life they will act as the line 3. So it's the experimenting process. It's jumping in with 2 feet. It's making mistakes. It's falling down, picking yourself up, dusting yourself off. It's trying new things. You're kind of figuring out, okay, where do I want to go? What do I love? Who am I? And you're kind of just navigating your way through things. Then as you go...
So keep in mind that Dr. Desiree and I are both line 6s. We're both older than 30. I could say that comfortably over here. So when you started teaching us this, just to get in our minds, we've both been through. That is us. You just described us. Mm-hmm. Like we were the experiencers. We both have had experiences that brought us here. That's why the podcast is named the Eversio Experience. Okay, so first phase you just described, we've both been through it. Now you're going to describe phase 2. So keep in mind, Desiree's right in it. Like she's right in there, and I am just going out of it.
Yes. The phase 2, it's really like you're starting to understand, okay, all of these experiences that I had in my first 30 years have taught me something. I'm now taking those experiences. I'm starting to polish them up a little bit. I'm starting to share them with the world. I've got these insights. I'm really finding my footing. I'm really leaning into who I am. Things are like the puzzle pieces are starting to connect. And you're really just getting this solid understanding of where you're meant to go. You're in it. You're doing the thing. And then from age 50 on, a line 6 is in their prime. This is like the line 6 is living as themselves so deeply in a place of authenticity that it's almost like you're just evoking authenticity. People look to a line 6 for that authenticity, because when they see that in a line 6, it inspires them to be their most authentic self. So a line 6 really has all of these life experiences, all of this knowledge. A line 6 is actually meant to share their story, to share what they've gone through.
Okay. I love to talk. I always have. I was a teacher, I think, so that I could talk to kids all day and listen too, but I love to storytell. I love to talk. And I have been, I've been married to Craig, my husband, for 20 years. And we'll talk about what his energy type and his lines are, but it makes him a little crazy. Like sometimes he's had enough words in a day, and I want to come home and like tell him everything and about these experiences I've had and how I want to share these things. And I've had these insights, and he's like, used all my words, and let's just hold hands. And when you and I had our first meeting and you said that, I mean, I think there were tears rolling down my eyes. I've had this desire to write a book for a few years, and I've not felt like it was the right time. Now I know why it wasn't the right time. But as I turn 49 here in a few months and I'm at that end stage, I have felt very called to say more, but maybe I don't have to be talking so much. And I mean, you and I talked about writing a book, and I've written that book now. And human design was so inspiring and validating for me to say, yeah, I do feel like I have things to say and share, because everyone's been through things. They are all just lessons for us. And when you can look back at life and go, everything was leading here. I was supposed to go through that. All of those obstacles were opportunities. And as a 4/6 generator, I had this permission to finally share it in a way that felt so authentic for me. So I just feel like I'm 20 again, but with all of this new insight and knowledge to go forward with. So, and having the pleasure of working with Dr. Desiree every day, who's on the same path, but at a different place, and watching her like frickin' kill it at life, naturopathic doctor in this phase 2, starting to share her wisdom. And those of you listening in our Eversio community, I mean, what a gift to have this beautiful human being sharing in such an authentic way. So I can't wait to read Desiree's book 20 years from now and see where that goes. Such a cool thing to learn. So I hope you out there were listening to the numbers. I hope you've done your chart and you know which one you were, and you can start to match up and start to feel as validated as we did about like, oh my goodness, that's me. That's what I'm doing here. Thank you so much for sharing those lines. I would love for you to talk more about how what you just shared can be such a game changer for specifically entrepreneurs like us, who are trying so hard to do our best to run a conscious business. We've been around for 5 years now. We knew in the beginning, if we're going to make a game change in our careers, it's going to be because we want to operate a conscious business and bring something great to the world. And for me, what conscious business means is that there's a higher purpose, that we are prioritizing this holistic approach to running a company. And that for us very much meant people first, then the planet, and profit last. And when we knew if we can approach business this way and be successful at it, these businesses are changing the world, and we wanted to be part of that. And we always knew with this people first piece, it's on us to create this company culture and opportunities for education and for communication and for community. And when we found human design with you, and honestly, like you said, when we had that first conversation, we weren't even meaning to talk about human design. We connected with you because we knew we don't have a sales team. There's no sales team at Eversio Wellness. We just believe the universe will send us the people who need us. We don't have a marketing team. None of us have any marketing experience. You're looking at it. It's Dr. Desiree and I. We just educate, and that is our marketing. And we were questioning ourselves, to be honest. And when Easton, who, if you're on our social media, those beautiful recipes that you see, those incredible reels, that's our friend Easton creating those recipes. This was the connection to Mindy. When Easton said to us, you should talk to Mindy, she probably knew exactly what she was doing. Like, she's going to talk to them about human design. But we were questioning, like, what are we missing in the world of marketing that we could be using to share our story more and to share this mushroom intelligence that we're so nerdy passionate about? But when you came on the screen and we had those first conversations with you, I mean, we just left so full. Like we had so much to process and say, but we knew this is why you came to us. Because people first, as a conscious business, is something we were always looking to improve. And I think when you started talking to us about, well, some of you are generators, some of you are manifestors, some of you are projectors, we're like, what? Oh my gosh, how do we not know this about our own people? So I'd love for you to talk more about these energy types and how, as entrepreneurs out there, if you are a professional, if you are in any kind of leadership role in your business, how knowing about the energy types of the people you work with can help you to run a conscious business or be doing something that would be best practice in business in today's world.
Yeah. So first, I loved that. So it first unfolded with me doing one-on-one readings for each of the team members at Eversio. And then we did a big group reading. And I just thought it was so amazing that you brought this human design aspect in, because it can really teach you so much about the people. I mean, you spend so much time with the people you work with. So human design can really give you that understanding of how do they best operate? How do they make decisions? Because some people are instantaneous decision makers. Other people need a little bit more time. Knowing how to pinpoint when someone is out of alignment or when they're in alignment can really help you navigate what the work situation looks like. Is this person in their strengths? Do we need to pivot? Do we need to cut back on meetings? So there's really lots that you can unpack just by looking at your human design and those that you work with, not to mention your family members as well. To just give you some insight on the energy types, there are 5 different energy types in human design. Your energy type really determines on how you are meant to best operate in the world. And each of them are so different. Like Brandy was saying, we have 3 generators on the call right now on this podcast. And so generators are creative powerhouses, are natural doers. We have a massive amount of energy. However, it's very important for generators to do things that light them up, because when we do things that get us excited, it's almost like we are putting gas in our tank. The tank is just going to fill up, fill up, fill up. And it's almost like if we're standing there filling up our gas tank and we're so distracted because we're so excited by the things that light us up, all of a sudden when our tank is full, the gas is still going to keep pouring out if we don't release the control. So now it's almost like that gas helps fill up other people's tanks. So now by us doing the things that we love, we're generating more energy, and the people around us are almost elevated up by this energy. And there's just this abundance around us. That is where we're meant to really focus our attention. When we, pile our plates too full as generators, because we have this energy to just get stuff done, what can kind of take us off track is if we fill our plates too full of things that don't excite us. When we fill our plates so full, it's like we have blinders on now. Now we can't see the things that excite us. Our energy level is going to decrease. We don't have that magnetic presence about us anymore. We're not lifting others up like we're meant to. And so it's really important as a generator to prioritize those things that get you excited. It's not selfish. In fact, you need that in order to support other people.
This is not just Desiree and I, but also Lori, who she's customer care for us. And so you've met her, and many of the people in the Eversio community have communicated with Lori either by email or phone, because she's the one caring for our customers. And I can't tell you how many times we stand in the office and go, this work does not light me up. Like, I will do this task because someone has to do it, but I don't feel lit up. And just having the permission to say that to each other, for Desiree to come to me like, today's that day. Like, I need extra love because my plate is full and I'm not feeling lit up by this work. And the truth and the reality are, sometimes in a small business, we have to do those things. But knowing it's not my job every day and that I'm not feeling lit up by it, and the people around me know it's not lighting me up, you get it done, and it feels better than when we were in this unknowing that, like, I'm not in my zone of genius. This isn't lighting me up and this sucks. And now I don't want to come to work. Who wants to work like that every day? A lot of people are working like that every day. A lot of my friends work like that every day. So just that little tidbit of information for generators. And Mindy, what's the percentage? How many of the people on the planet today are generators, are this energy type?
Yeah. So generators and manifesting generators actually make up about 64% of the population.
Wow.
Yeah.
A
lot of us.
A lot of us out there
Yeah.
that need to feel lit up by what we do. And if you're not feeling lit up by what you do, Mindy's going to tell you to quit your frickin' job like she did and like I did and like Desiree did. And then who knows what human design lit up Mindy. Mushrooms are what happened to light me up. I had no idea that's what it would be. But there's no doubt that when you're describing it to me, that is how I think Dr. Desiree and I both felt as we started to learn more about mushroom wellness, was just this amazing feeling of passion that was so new, and you're back at it when you open the door to what it could be. Okay, generators, got it. What's next?
So let's touch on manifesting generators. So manifesting generators are almost a hybrid of generators and manifestors. Similar to generators, manifesting generators also need to focus on those things that get them excited. The main difference between manifesting generators and generators is manifesting generators have this ability to just go from point A to point B in like hyper speed. A lot of times manifesting generators will, and a lot of the clients that I've worked with have called this out, where they will follow where their energy wants to go, because that's the biggest thing for a manifesting generator is your energy is always going to be pulling you to what you want to do. So your goal is to really follow that. When you're following that energy, say if it's, I want to start this course. You may be really excited about this course in the beginning, dive right in, and then all of a sudden that energy is pulling you towards something else, and maybe you don't finish that course. A lot of manifesting generators feel this frustration of, why can't I just finish this course beginning to end? Or why can't I read this book from cover to cover? And it's really because that is okay. Your energy is calling you towards something different. You don't need to get caught up in completing things because your energy wants to move at this lightning speed. It's okay to pivot. Things need to stay exciting for a manifesting generator. So release the guilt that if there's any lingering of, I need to finish this, and just honor where your energy is calling you in the moment. For manifesting generators, your career path may not be linear. You're not meant to stick to one path or passion throughout the course of your life. If you hold on to something that could be a career for too long, you may actually start to feel you're not self-themed, which is the indicator that you're out of alignment. And for a manifesting generator, that could look like frustration or anger. And so when you get these feelings bubbling up, that might just be your energy type wanting change, wanting the freedom to pivot. So once you're able to lean into that, go with the flow. And what's interesting is because manifesting generators can move so fast that they may forget that others can't move as quickly as they can. So there might be some frustration of, oh my gosh, why can't you keep up? And this is where we get caught up, though, as a whole, because 64% of us are either a manifesting generator or a generator. So the remainder of people are looking, especially on social media, they're looking at these generators and manifesting generators, putting out these products, doing all these things, and they think, oh my gosh, well, I need to do that. Why
it's exhausting for them. It's exhausting for them. It's such a great reminder. We are different. You're meant to be different. We are, like, there's the permission. And my best friend and my husband both being projectors, which you'll talk about, I think I all of a sudden see how they'd been seeing me and why that was hard for them to see this. It's exhausting what you're describing. So I mean, we don't have a manifesting generator. Desiree and I we talked a while after, if we're hiring, we just need to say that. Now hiring manifesting generator to come in and complement, because it's the missing thing. But we do work with some people who are contractors to us just outside of us, who came to us right after we worked with you and was recommended to us by somebody. And we said, do you know about human design? Do you mind if we ask? Two of them, two manifesting generators.
Too many gens. It's perfect. You put it out there and you receive it.
Yeah.
Okay. That is beautiful. And the best example of your line 4 in action. You're just magnetizing that through people you know. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of projectors, then we can touch on projectors. So projectors make up 22% of the population. Projectors are our natural leaders, teachers, guides. They have this incredible ability to have this bird's eye view of things and to really understand and refine systems. Projectors can almost spot where people are really gifted and see, okay, is this person or is this company doing the things, are we leaning into our strengths? Or maybe are we a little bit disconnected here? So they have this, their magic and their secret sauce is not in how hard they work. It's really in that potent perspective that they hold and those insights that they have. So if you're a projector, so Craig and Shannon are projectors. Yeah. So if a projector is looking at the way that the generators are operating on your team, if they're not aware of their energy type, they may have this feeling of, I need to keep up. And then all of a sudden they feel burnt out. Well, that is because they're not living as their energy type. They're trying to match someone else's energy. And as a projector trying to match a generator, that's going to be like the fast track to burnout. Projectors have about 2 to 3 hours of really potent energy in a day. And that is meant to really be focused on whatever they want to focus that energy and attention on. The remainder of the day is really meant to kind of sit back, to reflect. This is when they're really going to be able to see everything from that bird's eye perspective. So projectors actually need more rest than any other energy type. Just knowing that little piece, you can start to see how in a setting at work, how just those two energy types will be drastically different in the way that they operate.
Yeah. And to not judge the other one when they need to take a nap in the middle of the day, which Craig's the CEO of the company. So you just described an incredible CEO, somebody who has the bird's eye view, sees the talents of the team, has this intuitive knowing about what people might need in order to come back into alignment. He is that for us. And it is no surprise for us to now turn around and see him having a nap at lunchtime in his office. And in the past, I wouldn't say we judged him. I mean, Des, we're not judgmental,
no.
But we would never do that. Like, we certainly would never even consider that. Like, we will stop and have a midday meditation, right? The generators, we will all do that together. But Craig, when you told him, he felt so validated. He was the guy who was scheduling back to back meetings and feeling burnt out. And when you said to him, Craig, that's not you. Like, you got to quit it with the back-to-back meetings. This is a recipe for disaster for you. Your battery pack is powerful, but it's smaller than theirs, and you do require more rest. Oh my gosh, he just started having naps and the whole world changed for everyone. Because when he can show up his best and still feel respected by all of us, and we know that's what's happening for him, my gosh, so lovely for all of us to just be able to shut the door, let him turn off the lights, and be true to yourself and what you need right now to be the best CEO you could be. I don't know how many CEO projectors are out there. We know a couple. We have a few good friends in our community, female beasts in business who are projectors who choose to work from home so that they can have that rest when they need it and just refuel their tank and know that their battery pack looks different than ours.
It was so interesting too when we all found out what everyone's energy type was. I remember I looked at Brandy, I'm like, well, that just makes sense. Yeah, like, duh. We probably could have picked that. Same with Lori. And then, Veronica being a manifester, which you're going to touch on. And then Shannon and Craig being projectors. It just made sense. I feel like we all had this aha of like, oh, yes, we're all similar in many different ways. There's, of course, overlapping qualities and many differences that we all respect and love one another. And I think it's so amazing that Brandy and Craig created this conscious business, and it's so fulfilling to work in a space with like-minded humans where you love going to work every day. Like Brandy touched on, sometimes like no job is perfect where you do things that light you up 100% of the time. But when you have that community and people and you just get each other, and so knowing that Shannon's a projector and Craig is also a projector, it just made sense so that we can all show up for each other in the way that is authentic to ourselves and how they need as well.
Yeah. To be able to be honest, like to be able to say, hey, projectors, guess what? We don't want to deal with money. Like Desiree and I, do not give us jobs that include anything financial. And we'd always felt that way, but we kept getting these little tasks and we're like, this makes us feel dead inside. We do not feel, do you want us to be awesome? Don't give us those jobs. Projectors, it's your job to go back to the drawing board and rework what this like act as the project managers, figure this out and move that task somewhere where it's for someone else. And I mean, those little things coming off our plates have given us the space to have a podcast, space to do things that are lighting us up. And then they not judging us, so we're not lazy. They understand why we're coming to them. It's just magical. It's just magical to bring it in. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
manifester.
Yes, so manifestors make up 9% of the population.
Rare.
Manifestors are, they're really rare. Manifestors are like the trailblazers, the innovators. They're really here to come in and just kind of shake things up. So their magic is to really, their energy is going to come in waves. So here, when they're on a really upward, so their energy is spiked, this is when they're going to have those powerful ideas and insights. This is when their magic really comes out in, I have this idea, I'm going to help get it off the ground and get it out into the world, but they're not meant to do the day-to-day things to support that idea. This is where a generator or a manifesting generator can come in and support. And now they take it and they run with it. So a manifestor is meant to really stay in that zone of genius, of here's these ideas, here's my next insight. Again, a manifestor is not going to have that potent energy like the generator and manifesting generator. So when their spike of energy drops down, they're going to feel it. And it's going to be at a little bit of a low. They're going to feel like, where I feel like I need to rest. I feel like I need to relax. And it's so crucial for a manifestor to take that time to recharge, because that is the sweet spot of I'm letting everything simmer. And this is, I'm opening up space for that next brilliant idea to download. If I try to operate like a generator, if I'm a manifestor and I'm trying to push through and grind and do the day-to-day, it's almost like I'm preventing those beautiful ideas and downloads from coming to me.
And this is our Veronica. This is Veronica, who you just described her so beautifully, and we were burning her out. Veronica can't work with us. She can't come to Eversio HQ. And you told her, like, go work. She, I think, finished her one-on-one meeting with you and went to Tofino for a week. Literally worked from the ocean side. And this is allowing her to be exactly what we needed. The reason we came to you in the first place, questioning ourselves, like, should we be doing marketing? Like, should we just be trusting that the people who need us will come? And what we learned is now in a marketing meeting, manifestor Veronica is the one that when she has the space and she has the time, we just have to let her come to it. And when it comes to product development, when it comes, she manifested the 2 years ago, 12 Days of Merry Mushrooms event that almost killed us as generators because we did all of the doing. But that was her, like, in a moment where, like, oh my gosh, the Eversio community is going to love this. And they did. It was incredible. When we gave her that permission to be away from us and have the space and have the time to do her manifesting, we had no idea that this was her gift. And now, I mean, she just feels so free, freed by you and the permission to go and do that her way and come up with this great stuff. So you don't need a whole marketing department. You just need a manifestor on your team.
Yeah. Yes, a manifestor. Yeah. And I love that you called out free, because manifestors love their freedom. They thrive when they have the freedom to move around as they please, to really honor that natural ebb and flow of their energy. This is when they're going to be in that zone of genius. So freedom is definitely key. And then lastly is reflectors. Reflectors,
and we don't have one. We don't have one. So listen carefully, Eversio community. Mindy's going to tell you what a reflector is. If you're one, please apply for a job at Eversio Wellness.
So reflectors make up 1% of the population. And what makes a reflector so unique is within our charts in human design, there are 9 shapes within your chart. If you go and look yours up, you'll see what I'm talking about. Each of these 9 centers are either defined or undefined. If they're defined, they're colored in. If they're undefined, they are white. When you have undefined centers, it's almost like you almost act like a sponge in all of these centers. You're soaking up everything around you, the emotions of people, the fears of people, the energy of people. So reflectors, what makes them so rare is they have all 9 of these energy centers completely open, undefined. And so their beauty, their gift is actually sampling the world around them. They're sampling environments and people and energy and frequencies. Reflectors almost act as that mirror in a community. If you ever find yourself in the presence of a reflector, if you're having a conversation with a reflector, you may start noticing that you see yourself in them. And it's because they take in qualities of you and they're internalizing and amplifying it back out to you. They're truly acting as that reflector.
I want to have one in my life.
One of my best friends is a reflector. Yeah, one of my best friends is a reflector. I was like, oh my God.
Yes. The rare reflector.
Very rare. And really, they are going to be so wise and so sensitive to the people and the places around them. They're going to pick up on a lot of stuff. And so if you have access to a reflector, really, it's like brilliance. They're just going to see things from so many different layers, from so many different nuances. What's so important for reflectors, though, is to spend time alone, to disconnect, because it can feel overwhelming for a reflector to be in the energy of people. Maybe if, as well, if maybe the frequency is off, or maybe it's not a really good exchange of energy, it could feel really draining. So as a reflector, allowing yourself to be with yourself, to tune in, to release what's not yours, because emotions you can internalize from other people, fears you can internalize from other people. So just allowing yourself to have that little bit of a filter to release what is no longer yours so you can tune back into yourself is going to be key. And spending time with people who just feel so good for you, it's going to give you that boost. Spend time in environments that feel nourishing. That's just going to support your energy type so well.
Okay, so we thought this would be a really fun idea because I feel like we could just talk about human design forever because it really lights Brandy and I up. And as we've said, there's so many aha moments. And Mindy, we could just do this for hours and hours and hours. But we thought, okay, what if you could design a mushroom wellness set or a protocol for each energy type? Which one would you do and why? So we talked about a brief description of each energy type. Let's do this together. Let's create this protocol for each individual energy type and which mushrooms they really need.
Okay, well, I love this so much.
It's just fun, right? It's like eat right for your blood type was a trend when I was young and growing up. My mom had a book on the shelf, Eat Right for Your Blood Type. And if you knew your blood type, you could kind of match food to nourish you in a way that felt good. That made sense to me. Exactly. We have a cyclical living protocol where depending on where you are, and you can follow the phases of the moon or the phases of your menstrual cycle, change up your mushrooms. There are lots of mushrooms out there. Don't just take the same one every day. Do what is a match for you, not what is a match for all the people around you. It only makes sense to play with it in human design. So let's have some fun. Which energy type should we start with?
Well, let's start with generators.
Okay, because it's the most. Okay, so give us the basic energy traits of those generators, and then let's pick them some mushrooms.
Yes. So generators, of course, are going to just have an abundance of energy. So anything that can support that energy for them, of course, this will pair with them doing things that light them up. But if there's a mushroom that can come in and support that life force energy, is going to be so crucial here. They're going to thrive doing work that they love. So if there's something that can kind of keep them on track, keep them going and moving forward, that's going to be the key, but also keeping them healthy too, right? We know that when you're doing a lot of stuff, that's a lot of energy output. So how can we really support the immunity and the health of a generator? And this will also have similarities to the manifesting generator too.
Okay, Dr. Des, give it to us. What's the protocol?
I mean, I immediately think if we want to maintain that sustained energy so that generators can totally burn off all of that energy and use up their battery, I think starting the day with maybe lion's mane to support them with productivity and then utilizing cordyceps throughout the day, could be midday as well to have that sustained energy throughout the day. And because generators, they've used up all their energy in the evening, helping them transition into sleep so that they can feel rested, utilizing reishi. I think that's what I would pick for the generators.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. That's something I learned also from you, Mindy, as a generator, I don't sleep well if I haven't drained my battery.
Yeah.
So yes, we have
Same.
these large battery packs and we often are quite busy that it is no problem. We don't have, Desiree and I are lucky to both love our sleep and have great quality sleep. However, there have been days when, for whatever reason, I'll give you an example. My daughter is a competitive dancer in the midst of dance competition season right now, which means my butt is often sitting in a theater, not doing or being creative or doing the things I would do on a normal day because I'm supporting her passion, which I love, don't get me wrong. But often after a long day at a dance competition, I'm not falling asleep because I haven't drained my own battery.
Yep.
And if I need some support, those are days for sure. Like you said, Dr. Des, I need to take some reishi to help support that unwinding of the nervous system so that I can switch and transition in. Okay, so cordyceps, lion's mane, performance of the mind, performance of the body in the day, and reishi at night. Generators, that's your protocol. Okay, what's next?
Yes. So manifesting generators, these again, multitaskers, high energy, they're just going to be explosive with getting things off the ground and moving from thing to thing. So I really do, again, think something that will support their cognitive speed, their energy, also something that can help them too, just like the generator. You need something that will help move you through the day when you're operating at a high level, but also at night. Okay, once you've got all of that out, how can I rest and slowly get into sleep after I burn off that energy?
I'm changing my mind. With generators, I really like the cordyceps, but I'm thinking we also need to add in turkey tail because generators are going and doing and they need that support for their defense system. Now, I think the protocol in this sense would be more of that lion's mane, the cordyceps, supporting sustained energy, supporting mental clarity and creativity. And then in the evening, having that reishi to help unwind the nervous system and to fall asleep.
Yeah, agreed. And I think when we are looking at both manifesting generators and generators, when you are high functioning and doing, we need an antioxidant on there to prevent, it's the resilience. So chaga to me is that protecting what we have from oxidative stress, which often we can expose ourselves to this when we are doing and moving and going about all of the time. So I think in either of those cases, chaga midday as the antioxidant support that these might need is another good one you could add in there. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So manifestors, like I was saying earlier, they are the initiators, the trailblazers. And again, their energy is going to ebb and flow. So I think really having something that's going to support them when they're in that flow, high energy, but then also support them when they need that time to really rest, recharge, relax.
Yeah, with those manifestors, having that lion's mane to support the mental clarity, the creativity, cordyceps to help support sustained energy. Because like you said, with manifestors, their energy comes in bursts. So if we can have the support of cordyceps to have sustained energy throughout the day, I think would be beneficial. And then reishi, who doesn't need reishi? Seriously, we say that all the time.
In the evening. But I like that for the manifestor, starting the day with lion's mane because you're going to be creative. You're going to let that idea come in. So getting that support for cognitive function, productivity, lion's mane first, cordyceps midday, and then the reishi at night. I like that versus the cordyceps first thing in the morning for the energy to get going, just switching that order. So nice. Okay, what's next?
So projectors, again, they have these powerful insights. They're using a lot of, they're inside their heads, they're in their brains. They're going to need more rest than the other energy types. So really supporting that, again, rest and recharge and that cognitive function as well. And they're going to have that limited energy. So let me know what you think there.
Yeah, I think because projectors are really leading the way and having that perspective, starting the day with lion's mane, really boosting your focus and clarity to guide others efficiently. I think because projectors maybe have a smaller energy pack, they could be susceptible to adrenal fatigue or burnout and energy depletion. Having that antioxidant support from chaga for both the immune system, adrenal health, and then ending the day off with reishi to unwind the nervous system, promote a restful sleep, but then adding in tremolo as well for supporting the brain and neurogenesis as we're going into that resting state.
Yeah, the brain does so much important stuff at night. And we've talked about it so much in previous episodes about the importance of quality sleep. because so much happens for the brain to get rid of all the waste of the day and what's gone on and sort through the memories and store all of the things. And I know this for my husband, the projector in my life, that if he doesn't sleep well, everything falls apart the next day. Like he values his sleep more than anybody I know. Like he's the guy who's going to bed at 9 o'clock. And he definitely knows if anything has gone on that's going to stop him, he is going to take that reishi at night or put some balanced blend that's got reishi in it into a warm, soothing drink and really honor the nighttime routine, because he knows that his brain will race and race and race and race if he doesn't get to sleep in that right window and have that deep, restful sleep that allows the brain to really process, store, clean out, and be ready to go fresh for the next day. Where I tend to be able to go on a little less sleep than him, and I can kind of like get into bed later at night and just drop off. If I've drained my battery, it's drained. Super interesting for them. So that just leaves us the little 1% reflectors on the planet.
The reflectors, again, they're going to be absorbing everything around them: energy, environments, emotions. They're going to just be highly sensitive to those around them, places around them. They need that time to process. Time really is their best friend when it comes to clarity. So they are slow process decision makers, them making decisions and waiting for their opportunities. It's going to be a lunar cycle. So it's almost a slow burn here for reflectors.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you said they're highly sensitive to their environment and picking things up, immediately I think of chaga, because of chaga being a potent antioxidant, supporting that, helping with immunity and just overall adaptability. I think because they are also picking things up and reflecting it and embodying it within themselves for others, I think midday having turkey tail to support that balance in changing environments and making sure their gut health and all the things are in check. And then in the evening, supporting themselves with reishi for that deep rest and emotional processing while they're sleeping.
They need the adaptogens.
Yeah.
They need an adaptogen morning, midday, and evening to really, I think of them as the mushroom. Mushrooms are so often becoming their environment. We think of the chaga mushroom as literally eating the birch tree and creating itself from the birch tree. The birch tree is full of betulinic acid, which is this incredible antioxidant. And then the chaga mushroom is full of betulinic acid, that it created it from its environment. It literally became its environment. And that means that sometimes these mushrooms have to develop these incredible immune systems themselves to be able to be healthy in their environment. Reflectors also need to be resilient. They need to be able to have an immune system that can withstand all the things that they're bringing on into them. Wow.
That was cool.
Ladies, that was so cool. Thank you for sharing that. I bet this has never been done before. You just heard what is the best mushroom for your energy type in human design. I'm going to guarantee you that the other mushroom people out there are not talking about this. What a cool thing. I hope that you went and did your quiz on Mindy's website and that you found your energy type, that you got your numbers, and that you really are thinking about yourself and how you're going to change one thing in your life going forward that is going to help you really honor who you are and what you came here to be, not to do, what you came here to be in this world, because you are a gift. And when you are honoring yourself and being what you're supposed to be, it's just all going to feel amazing. You're going to feel aligned, like Mindy says, and it's going to change your life. And I'm so excited for you to do that. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you so much for how you have changed Eversio Wellness as a company and helped us. We have changed everything in 2025. We have flipped the lid on how we did business in our first 4 years. We are in year 5 and we're doing things completely differently because of human design. And it feels so good. The people that we're bringing on to support us are with such a different intention. And we know amazing things are going to happen for us. And we have you to thank. As you're wearing your Futures Fungi crew neck over there, the Kingdom Fungi thanks you for helping us do what we love to do. Can you please share with our audience how they can be in touch with you, how they can learn more from you, where they can find you?
Yeah, of course. You can find me at mindycrawford.ca and on Instagram. Mindy A. Crawford is my Instagram handle, and I also have Mindy Crawford Human Design, so a few places for you to find me. Thank you both so much. Honestly, it means the world to me to be here and to share this with your community. And I just love your openness and bringing human design into your company. I just honestly think that that is just trailblazing for the years ahead and for what's to come. So thank you.
I hope more people would do it. And thank you for supporting conscious businesses. We've recommended you to so many, and I can't wait to hear others' stories that are having positive change because of bringing human design in. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep rocking your mushroom crew neck and changing the world. And I will tell you, if you are listening now, Mindy has some incredible offerings, some courses and workshops that, like, I want to give that as a gift to everyone I know. One-on-one time with Mindy is a gift that will give and give and give for a lifetime. Thank you for learning something new with us today, and we will see you next time, everyone. Be well. We hope you learned something new here today. If anyone you know could benefit from what we shared in this episode, please share it with them. And if you're interested in adding mushroom wellness to your life, you can use code podcast15 to save 15% on your entire order at eversiowellness.com.
If you haven't yet left us a rating and review, subscribed to this podcast, or followed our social media accounts listed in the show notes, we would so appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with us. Until next time, be well.